So you just read through quite a lot of material on verbs, and maybe it could be a little confusing. You may have to read it a few times. Hopefully some of it is a review, but here will hopefully help you a little bit with all of that information in an oral presentation, giving you some more examples and that type of thing. Hopefully this will make it even clearer. So I got this, as you can see, from the internet, and it's Mrs. Hinton's 7th grade Greer Middle School PowerPoint on verbs, linking verbs, and helping verbs. So first of all, we are going to go through a pretest to see what you do know. So what is an action verb? Can you answer that yet? The PowerPoint's going to go through these things, so I'm not going to talk about them other than to let you think about them and see if you already know this. What are some examples of a mental action verb? What does a linking verb do? Identify the most commonly used linking verb. And finally, how can you test whether a verb is a linking verb or an action verb? And what is a helping verb? What is an example of a helping verb? Okay, I'm going to remind you that you can pause this at any time, go back, that kind of thing, if we're going too fast. So I don't know how well you did in your pretest, but hopefully by the time we're through this PowerPoint, you'll be able to know all of the answers to those things. So what is an action verb? It's a verb that tells what action someone or something is performing. Which of the following are visible action verbs? Means things you can see happening. Choose, wonder, dropped. Have you made up your mind? If you said choose and dropped, you're correct. You can see people doing those. You can't really see people wondering. Which of the following are mental action verbs? Expect, scurried, or landed. Have you decided? Try this one. Worry, eats, remember. Which of these 6 words are mental action verbs? If you said expect, worry, and remember, you're right. So here you're supposed to list the action verb in each sentence. The musician placed the flute in its case. This camera takes excellent pictures. Have you decided on your verbs? The ship struck the dock. Your answers are placed, takes, and struck. Action verbs. You have to recognize forms of the linking verb be because it's the most common linking verb. We're going to identify it in each sentence. That purple jewel is an amethyst. Do you know what the linking verb is? The keys have been rusty for some time now. What about there? What's the linking verb? If you said is in the first sentence and have been in the second, you'd be right. Now let's list the words that are connected by the linking words. So we've got that is the linking verb. What does it connect? The jewel to the amethyst. Right. And again, the keys have been rusty for some time. Have been is the linking verb. Connecting. You got it. Connecting, keys, and rusty. because the keys are rusty. And again, her favorite colors are turquoise and pink, so R is connecting. I think you've probably guessed it. Colors, turquoise and tan. You can tell this is an American site because of the way they're spelling colors. We have a U in ours. List the linking verb and the words that are connected by it. Now we're doing all of the things. So Fred appears hungry and tired. The linking verb, got it? The words that it connects. What's the linking verb? Appears. Oops, and what are the words connected by it? Appears, and the connecting words, hungry and tired. Fred appears hungry and tired. So appears is the link between the subject and the adjectives that describe it. Again, his answer seemed wrong to me. The linking verb and what the words that are connected. Did you guess seemed? And what seemed how? The answer seemed wrong. So how can we tell if they're action verbs or linking verbs? Well, you can substitute the verb with am, is, or are, and if a sentence still makes sense, then the original verb is a linking verb. Let's try it out. The inspector sounded the alarm as a test. What's the verb? Did you pick sounded? And is it an action? He sounded the alarm. It's an action you could hear him doing. You could see him go over there and push the alarm, right? It's an action. Let's try another. During the drought, the grass turned brown. So what was happening? Something turned is the verb, right? Is it action or linking? Try the test. During the drought, the grass is brown, or the grass was brown. Still kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Then it is a linking verb. The room seems smaller now. Picked out the verb. Seems. Try the test. The room is smaller now. Fits. It's a linking verb. The robin appears at our bird feeder often. The robin appears. The robin is at our bird feeder often. So it's a linking verb. Okay, now we asked also in the pretest, what are helping verbs? Well, helping verbs are added before the key part of a verb phrase. A verb phrase means a verb that's made up of more than one word. So the complete verb phrase, including the HV, which means helping verb here, let's list them. Only the HV, not any other parts. So, government officials were quickly sent to the flood area. What are the words that make up the verb? We know we're talking about the government officials. What did they do? You got it picked out? Let's check. The government officials were sent to the flood area. Those are the key parts. The key word is sent, were is the helper, and quickly is an adverb that's put in the middle of those two that's not part of the verb. Let's try another. The new students should have been taken to meet the principal. Okay, what should be happening here? We're talking about the students. What about them? They should have been taken to the principal. Let's check and see. Did you pick out your verbs, your helping verbs. They should have been. Okay, all three words this time. Who has been doing research on early polar flights? Okay, you've got the verb picked out. Has been doing. Who has been doing is the whole verb. Doing is the main part. Okay, your mother could have certainly reached them by phone. Be careful on this one. Don't include any extra words. What makes up the verb phrase? Did you pick could have reached? Certainly, but look at the ly ending, kind of telling us that it's an adverb. It's not part of the verb phrase, could have reached. Reached being the key part of the verb, could have is the helpers, the auxiliary. Okay, now they're asking us the questions again. What is an action verb? Can you tell us? It's a word in the sentence that's necessary to show what's happening, what action is taken, either physical or mental. What are some examples of a mental action? Remember, expect. Okay. What does a linking verb do? It does just what it says. It links other words in the sentence. It links the subject to an adjective. The most commonly used linking verb, do you remember? To be. How can the test whether a verb is a linking or an action verb? Remember, we substitute that verb for a verb to be, is, are, or am, and see if it still makes sense. And what is a helping verb? Well, it's that word that comes before the main part of a verb phrase, the key word. An example of a helping verb is have, right? Have been, you saw lots of those. So thanks to Mrs. Hinton and her 7th grade degree middle school students for hopefully making that a little bit more clear for you. What are verbs, linking verbs, and helping verbs?